All right, shalom, shalom. We're the real Hebrew Israelites coming day in and day out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America. First off and foremost, all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Makar Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone, and salutations to the elect, wherever you may be. This is the brother Shapaya, coming from GMS Chicago. Quick lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. And I'm gonna hop straight into it. There's a video I was watching, and I ended up watching two. And the points they made was pretty good, and I just want to link it up with the scriptures. So check this out. I'm trying to watch it fast, so you brothers can hear it. Really, it's like the first couple of minutes, but let me go on to it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going to start because you are in for a fabulous evening and an action-packed and knowledge-packed evening. My name's Jenny McGregor and I'm CEO of AsiaLink at the University of Melbourne, and I've actually had the enormous privilege over the last 2 days of taking Martin to Sydney, where he spoke yesterday at lunchtime. He then flew to Canberra, where he spoke to our leaders program. He then came. I'm going to just do a pretty quick spruik for the book because I have had a fabulous time getting it. Has been knee-deep and in all of the data to update this copy, and it is an awesome resource. It's I won't tell you about it because he will, but I do urge you to get a copy, and he will be signing at the end of the evening. It's an exceptional book. We have not seen the like of it in this country, and I just wish that we could have taken Martin to every state. But you can get him on YouTube. Yes, your TED Talk. Your TED introduce our host for the evening before featured on CNN. It promises to be controversial.
Needlessly hard. I just want to ask interesting questions. But of course, this event is about the audience, and hopefully we'll have enough time to entertain your questions. Before I introduce Martin, I'd just like to mention our Twitter hashtag, the world, the end of the Western world, and the birth of a new... But I've got one here anyway. Martin Jakes, open it up to questions.
All right, so really he's about to read this first part. See the channel says when China rules the world, which according to scripture, Moab's not about to get the... No. Hey, Israel is next, man. All right. But check it out.
Okay, I'm sure Martin needs no introduction, but I've got one here anyway. Martin Jakes is the author of the global bestseller, When China Rules the World, The End of the Western World and the Birth of a New Global Order. His TED Talk on how to understand China has had almost 1 million views. He is a senior visiting research fellow at IDEAS, the Centre for Diplomacy and Grand Strategy at the London School of Economics, and a visiting professor at Tsinghua University in Beijing. He is also a fellow at the Transatlantic Academy, Washington, D.C.
So this nigga knows, he knows his economics, man. Stats, charts. When it comes to even like investing, people could see the what do they call it? The outlook of what's to come just by off the numbers they got. For a forecast, basically.
Previously been a visiting professor at Renmin University, the International Centre for Chinese Studies, Aichi University in Nagoya, and Itsumeikan University in Kyoto. He was a senior visiting research fellow at the Asia Research Institute at the National University of Singapore. He was formerly the editor of the renowned London-based monthly Marxism Today until its closure in 1991, and was co-founder of the think tank Demos. He's been a columnist for many newspapers, made many television programs, and is a former deputy editor of the Independent newspaper. He took his doctorate while at King's College in Cambridge. He's also the chair of the Harinda Veria Trust, which supports girls from deprived backgrounds with their education at Asunta Primary School in Petaling Jaya in Malaysia, where his wife, the late Harinda Veria, was educated. It has also sponsored young Malaysian lawyers from under...
I had to get past that part.
Well, thank you for those words, Oscar, and also to Jenny. Thank you very much. And good evening.
So listen up, the first 2 minutes.
China presents us with two very interesting challenges. The first is that we've never before seen the like of a country.
Mind you, this was 8 years ago. So when you tie in the pandemic and how their economy rose so fucking much, it's ridiculous. So this was 8 years ago that this was predicted. But here we go.
Of 1.3 billion people growing at around 10% a year. In other words, doubling in size every roughly 7 years. And doing this over a period now of in excess of 30 years. Now, when China started this extraordinary process, the Chinese economy was very small. It was 1/20th the size of the American economy. Now it's over half the size of the American economy, and so the transformation of China has become, at one and the same time, the transformation of the world. This is very visible, particularly in this region of the world, but globally it is now absolutely clear. China is constantly restructuring, reformatting, and transforming the world as we know it. The second problem that China confronts us with is, I think, more difficult. I mean, if that isn't difficult enough, this is even more difficult, which is how to understand China, how to make sense of it. Now, I'm afraid the lazy Western mind assumes that it can just think in Western terms, through a Western prism, according to Western values and Western criteria, and thereby make sense of China. And I want to argue tonight, in the first part of my talk, that this is not the case, that we cannot possibly understand a society like China with such a different history and such a different culture.
All right, that's pretty much it on this video. But you see, he said they doubled in size. They double in almost every 7 years. All right. So let's just say the truth didn't exist. You know, I'm just using this as an example because Lord knows the truth exists. Legitly, China and Russia would be next up because they're surpassing Babylon on all fucking levels. First of all, this economy is shit, but the birth rates are falling down. So it would be nothing for China to just come over here off of sheer numbers and take over this place, man. All right? So let's go to this one. Check this out.
I'm so glad Mark was talking about this.
Joining us now, Congressman Chris Stewart. He's on House Intelligence. Sir, it's great to have you on, Congressman.
Now, this was a week ago. Now, check this out.
What did you make of Senate Intelligence holding this rare public open hearing about the threat that China's playing? China's playing the long game to dominate the world economy. I think that's what the senators wanted to point out. What do you say?
Well, exactly right. In American.
But you know what? That's what you niggas should have been doing. If I'm talking numbers and money and shit, you got to know those statistics, man. You got to know those stats. You got to know the algorithm. To know what's coming down the pipeline, to set yourself up. If you're trying to be a great kingdom that wants to last forever, but we all know all these kingdoms have come to a dire end because it's not a righteous kingdom. So the next kingdom that's coming in rulership is Israel, Yashua Allah, under the a rulership of Yahweh, while Yahweh Shai, then the co-heirs being the elect, the 144. All right?
People need to understand this. They are playing the long game. They're playing it brilliantly. The good news, Elizabeth, is over the last few years, there really has been an awakening among the American public, among business leaders and among some political leaders, that China is not our friend. They're not just a place across the pond who makes really great iPhones.
Duh. You niggas never played Monopoly? You niggas never played chess? They ain't your goddamn friend. Listen, one thing I know about this world is a motherfucker wants to be on the top. All right? And especially if they're another nation, man. See, hey, that proves to you Esau is just losing all types of power, man. All right? Why you scared of China, you need to be scared of Yahweh Shem Shai, which you are. That's why you're trying to upset the prophecies, but you can't. But let's go.
Skateboards. They have certain goals and ambitions. They're very open about it. Their goal by the 2049 to 100th anniversary of China Communist Party claiming power is to be the single dominant force in the world, not just a peer competitor, not just another superpower, the single dominant superpower in the world.
Right, you don't get into business to be the lesser competitor. You get into business to be number one, all right? Simply put, when these different NBA teams and NFL teams play each other, in the off season, when they're making trades and they making adjustments to the franchise and to the front office, they're not doing all that shit to come to second or third place. They're doing it to be number one. The same is the way with the economy, economics.
Including military, diplomatically, technologically, economically. They're working towards that, as you said, Elizabeth. And I just think the more the American people know that, the better that is for us.
Watch Senator Marco Rubio here. He agrees with you. He's saying China is doing basically the biggest illegal wealth transfer from the U.S. into China in the history of mankind up to...
How's it illegal? Let's talk about the shit that America has done. Yeah, y'all don't want... See, America, Babylon the Great, this hypocritical nation is the first one to point their fingers. Yet they don't want to talk about all the atrocities, bullshit, thefts, murders that they did.
$600 billion
You fucking mad that this man's better at your game than you are.
a year of American technology and know-how going into China. China's stealing it. He said a lot more. Watch this.
The long arm of China is not some...
Wait.
$1 a year
They
of
said-
American technology and know-how going into China. Transfer from the U.S. into China in the history of mankind up to $600 billion a year of American technology and know-how going into China. China's stealing it. He said a lot more. Watch this.
So China's stealing the technology. Then what about Project Paperclip? All right, when you guys, you and the Russians, well, basically more Americans, more of America did it anyway. But Russians got their hands on some of them. When you took all the German scientists, the Teamanites, you took all their science, reverse engineered it. Matter of fact, you took the Lord science and tried to reverse engineer it, man. I ain't gonna start on that right now, but this Edomite has to go. He's hypocritical.
The long arm of China is not some futuristic threat. It's already here. Today, the Chinese Communist Party has more control over what Americans can say, what we can hear, what we can read, what we can watch, than any foreign government has ever had.
And that's how you take down a motherfucking country. You got eyes and ears everywhere. But see, this virgin bitch, hey, you done made love to all these niggas after they give you a fucking dollar or some money, and they doing it to fuck you over. Hey, I gotta read the Obadiah. Hold on. I gotta get it. Cause see, Babylon thought it was sweet. All right, Obadiah 1:7. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee even to the border. The men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee. Hey, Moab's deceiving the shit out of Esau, and prevailed against thee. That should eat thy bread. They that eat thy bread, which China got rich off of Babylon, all right, have laid a wound under thee, and there is no understanding in him. All right, so let's go back to the video.
In our history. And they have weaponized our openness. They have weaponized our decency. And they have weaponized a corporate lust for profits against us. And if we don't wake up and we don't address this now, the America our children are going to inherit.
So what did America do to the whole world? Did not they do the same thing?
Very soon could very well be one where the sanctimonious preachings, as someone once said, the sanctimonious preachings of a genocidal communist tyranny will be the only thing that Americans will be allowed to hear or say about China.
Whoa.
See, and that's why this place got to be fucking destroyed, man. Every hand of the wicked is going to come upon this man. All right? Now let me go into the scriptures. All right? You see, little do you know, Moab, you're not about to come in power. You're doing the same shit that Babylon did, man. That's why you fuckers wear suits and shit like that. You're trying to be just like Babylon the Great. All right? 2nd Esdras 15:46. And thou, Asia, thou art partaker of the hope of Babylon and art the glory of her person. All right? Because you thought you did the one thing that made Babylon, which is America, great was its manufacturing, especially after World War II. During World War II and after that, hey, that's what made them rise to the top of the economy, okay? And China now is doing it better. Cheap labor. Hey, and these Moabites are far more smarter than Esau. Esau's getting dumb. He's losing his wisdom, man. Verse 4, woe be unto thee, thou wretch, because thou hast made thyself like unto her, and hast decked thy daughters in whoredoms, that they might please and glory in thy lovers. Same thing Babylon did, which have always desired to commit whoredoms with thee. So all these nations been wanting to get in bed with China, all right? Thou hast followed her that is hated in all her works and inventions. Therefore saith Yahweh, I will send plagues upon thee, widowhood, poverty, famine, sword, pestilence, to waste thy houses with destruction and death. And the glory of thy power should be dried up as a flower. The heat shall arise that is sent over thee. Thou shalt be weakened as a poor woman with stripes, and as one chastised with wounds, so that the mighty and their lovers should not be able to receive thee. What I with jealousy have so proceeded against thee, saith the Lord. All right? So, hey, Moab, hey, you're going to be set on fire too. Parts of that land is going to be burned the fuck up. Thus saith Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. All right? Hey, all these fucking nukes and missiles ain't here for a reason. So it's just like Iran is smaller than China. So Babylon could talk hella shit to them about their nukes. They ain't gonna dare say shit to China about theirs because they know what these Chinese are about, especially in that South China Sea. Hey, Moab is building man-made islands. Why is that? They getting ready for war. gather yourselves round about her. All right. America is surrounded on all sides. When you look at planet Earth, there's only 2 bodies of water that's really protecting her. All right. And then you got Russia and other people in league with South American countries, and they right off the coast. So Babylon the Great is surrounded, man. Okay? Hey, how did them Japs get to you the first time? Which them Americans knew. They just needed some propaganda to get into the war. That's all that really was. All right? But, hey, this thing is very real, man. But guess what? Moab, you ain't you ain't next up. Or Russia. That whole landmass, man. Y'all ain't what's what. Matter of fact, damn. Let me see if I can get it. Let me see if I can get it. Shit. Let me see. That shit just blew me up, man. A fucking lesbian. Oh my gosh. There was a... here I go. Russia dumps U.S. dollar savings in favor of euro and other foreign currencies. And China pretty much did the same shit. All right? But, hey, they're done with this place. All right, woe be unto thee, Babylon, Asia. Woe be unto thee, Egypt and Syria. All right? Gird up yourselves with cloths of sack and hair. Bewail your children and be sorry, for your destruction is at hand. A sword is sent upon you, and who may turn it back? A fire is sent among you, and who may quench it? Plagues are sent unto you, and what is he that may drive them away? Hey, so, hey, none of you power structures, none of you other nations are next up. Israel is next up. And I'll end it with that. 2 Ezra 6 and 7. Then answered I and said, what should be the parting asunder of times, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he answered and said unto me, from Abraham to Isaac, when Jacob and Esau were born of him, Jacob's hand held the heel of Esau. For Esau is the end of the world, all right, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Simply put. So who's ruling? Esau, Edom. All right, Job 9:24, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So this is clearly the end of the world, as we see prophecies popping off. Matter of fact, we know it's the end of the world just by seeing who's in rulership. All right? So what's following that? Did it say Moab? Did it say Ammon? Did it say you Hamites? Did it say you Ishmaelites? No, it said Jacob, all right? Which is going to be who? All right? The house of Dawad, by Yath Shal Dawad. That's the next thing that's up, okay? Starting with Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, and the elect. Yahweh, Yahweh Shai, King David, and the rest of the elect. Simply put, that's going to be the governing body, all right, of this, of entirety, of existence, man. Starting here in Jerusalem, and we're going to spread out throughout all the galaxies, man. Letting you know that Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai exists and they reign, right? The Lord said his name alone should be exalted in that name. So this is all for Yahweh, why Yahweh Shai? And you know who Yahweh Shai gives all the glory to? Yahweh. So you guys are going to know that name. Y'all, hey, you heathens ain't next up. Y'all about to go in chains, man. All right? So with that, hey, I'm going to say all praises, honor, and glory be unto Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Shem Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles of Great Millstone, and salutations to the elect wherever you may be. Abba Babal.